redefining state sovereignty in the age of digitalization, let's say. So yesterday we were talking about. I'm talking to law students, I know, and there's also technology experts. Uh, in an age of emerging technologies, or the privacy matters, or the ethical side of human conduct, where speed, tech speed, is going to change the narrative altogether. So there are some pitfalls, there are some advantages, we all know. But my fundamental question is, given India's, first let me deal about India and then we can go to the global stage. Given India's 15,000 kilometers of land borders, 7,516 kilometers of coastal borders, we have a defined territory, right? But when it comes to digital technologies, there are no defined territories. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, and faith. This is the preamble that which we allude to, and we say we are under the Constitution of India, the Republic of India. So certain rules and regulations and acts you apply to maintain the law and order in the society. But when you are getting into the cyberspace, there are 5 spaces according to me. The cyberspace, the maritime space, the manufacturing space, the service sector space, and most importantly, you see, how you get into these spaces and maneuver what you want. How do you protect your assets, people, or services, goods? Since I come from international relations and political science background, I cannot restrict my talk only to the few aspects like law and its aspects, but I am certainly going to talk about how international relations in the background to the topic that we have chosen. State sovereignty, digital age, redefining state sovereignty, let's say. Backdrop, there are 7 flashpoints right now. India, Pak, Israel, Gaza, North Korea, South Korea, right? And then you have Russia, Ukraine, the most important being one. I think 7th October 2023, Israel, Gaza, the conflict started. So please think in this context. And I request all of you to come along with me, hypothetically, getting into a theater of warfare called Israel, Gaza, Russia, Ukraine, North Korea, South Korea, South China Sea dispute, and many other India, Pak, India, China. Okay, you're all traveling with me, right? Yes. Imagine we are in a metaverse world, we are all traveling with me. So now, information exchange through cyber platforms, because of the advent of internet, the whole world has become flat. So you don't need to have any territorial permissions to get in, get out. Once you are hooked to internet, everything is at your fingertip. Given this, how do you protect your 4 elements? People, territory, government, and sovereignty. These 4 elements constitute the state. Right? So if this is the challenge, now what are the policy preparedness, or let me say, what is the policy preparedness of government of India? The IT Act of 2000, 2012, 2013, 2021, 2023 IT Acts, subsequently I am talking. So these are our policy frameworks to safeguard your cyberspace. Sometime back I told you there are, according to me, 4 to 5 spaces. One important space is cyberspace. Knowingly or unknowingly, why unknowingly? Knowingly only, we have been keeping all our eggs in one basket. That basket is called cyber basket. Every important vital information you are keeping. Where are the servers? Again, due to my studies, we have 131 data centers in India that are operating from the Indian soil, only 131. We are the 13th in the global number of data servers that a country is operating. We are on the list 13th. So most of the data centers are either in United States or Europe and Africa, some of them. First in United States and Europe. But to what extent are we capable of managing our own data is one issue. So sovereignty is, again, let's go back to political science, conceptual clarity. What is sovereignty? Inalienable, supreme command or authority over what you do. Getting into friendships or getting into enmity with other countries is squarely rests on the supreme sovereign of that particular state, he or she, right? But when you apply the same principles into cyber world, you don't have any clue. So how do you manage this very dicey, very, very vulnerable scenario or situation? The only way we can manage is by bringing some coherence, some wisdom, some law and order. The law of the land must define how to protect its citizens, even though they are operating in the cyber zone. Okay. Our Ministry of Electronics, Information Technology at the helm of affairs, MEITY, has come out with recently, because we are talking about artificial intelligence, malicious use of artificial intelligence, and its impact on homeland security. I divide homeland security, let's say United Nations connotation, homeland security. Let's say internal security of India, Indian way of understanding. I see artificial intelligence applied to human security fields such as your food, health, water, education, sanitation, transportation, all these issues. Apply artificial intelligence to national security elements like your border protection, right? Especially maintenance of law and order within the country. What are the flashpoints within the country as of now today, as I'm talking to you, 2024, 1st of March, you have the Northeast, still some pockets boiling down. The communal issues are still happening. The casteist issue are still alive. We are meeting in the backdrop of all these internal security challenges. LWE, that is left-wing extremism, is not dead, still it is there. There are so many sleeper cells in terms of / non-state actors or terrorist organizations / extremist organizations existing in this country on this soil, right? So they are also using the same kind of technology that you and me are using. In fact, some of the non-state actors are more smarter than you and me. So the capacity to use AI, blockchain, IoT, big data is not only sole property, proprietary ownership of you and me. They are more smarter in some ways. So given this complex situation, how do you govern yourself? What is the best government according to the political science that governs the least? Minimum government, maximum governance is the standard formula or is the ideal situation. But given the exponential rise of emerging technologies in the global world order, India is no exception. So how are we managing our ecosystem? How do you build a correct net new emerging technology scenario within our country? What is our strength? What is our weakness? What is our opportunity? What is our threat? When you do this SWOT analysis, still, as I am talking to you, again I am going back, 70% of the country still are having the issue of haves and have-nots. 2 square meal, if not 70%, at least 35 to 40% of the country is having that problem of 2 square meals a day. So, the country is divided into digitally haves, digitally have-nots. How many of us could afford to buy a smartphone with internet connection? How many people living in the rural hinterland countryside are having the access to basic amenities like potable drinking water, education, health, sanitation? So all of you keep your hands on your heart and question. So we are highly unequally divided into the society. So generally, what is the root cause of a conflict? If you cannot address the basic amenities or fundamental issues, freedom from want, freedom from fear, freedom to live with dignity, if you cannot address these three issues, your human security challenges or your human security need, human insecurities will lead to national security challenges. Your human insecurity needs will result into national security challenges. This is the backdrop. We cannot ignore this backdrop. But at the same time, understand technology, adopt technology, give a framework to the technology, use technology for the betterment of the public goods and services. This is the ideal situation, right? So you have these kind of situations, and as we are talking now, I think to what extent are we building a responsible AI in an age of digital era, with the sovereignty being not questioned by non-state actors? Days have gone where army to army proportionate fight. Now asymmetric warfare is the order of the day. A terrorist organization or extremist organization could take the whole state or the country at ransom. We have seen those kind of situations in Mumbai 2611. So, what I am trying to tell you is very simple. Those days, about 15 years back, they have used only guns to kill at Taj, at other places. But now, just remove gun, keep a smartphone with all these AI, blockchain, IoT, big data, especially AI. The malicious, the dark side of artificial intelligence, if it gets into the hands of these non-state actors / terrorist groups, do we, or let's say, India as a country, does it have the wherewithal? Does it have the plan A, B, C? What is the level of preparedness from the security forces to take care of the country? So, a combination of law, technology students coming together and bringing out a framework that would help India to take care of its sovereignty, to keep intact. So now the answer is very simple. Tech, law, ethics, socio-political, economic, historical studies combination. It is no longer technology means only these categories of BTechs and MTechs. Now technology is all pervasive, like AI is all pervasive, omnipresent. So it is the need of the hour, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as an actor, as a teacher, political science, management, whoever you are, industrialist, journalist, it doesn't matter. By default or by design, you should educate yourself, digital literacy, understanding the nuances of technologies and application of technology to solve human suffering and also to pave the way for human excellence. So this is where we need to concentrate. So again, I am going back to sovereignty issue. In order to survive and thrive your country or our country as a sovereign state in the age of digitalization, digital technology, you need to equip yourself with digital literacy with the legal implications and ethical implications, political, social, cultural. You need to build an AI model. Just imagine this, please. There is cultural layer, historical, political, religious layer. All these layers are extremely important. Upon all these layers, you build the tech layer. Without building these foundation stones, if you build only technology, adopt, copycat from other Western countries, we are bound to fail. So, a meaningful AI ecosystem to build in the days to come, you should never forget the roots. whoever has forgotten their roots, our historical roots, our cultural roots, our socio-economic ethical roots, then we'll be fooling ourselves, digging our own graves. So this is the final point that I would like to make, and stop here and engage in a dialogue with you rather than a monologue. Right? Now, floor is open. I made my point. I hope you got my points, right? How do you engage technology? Why should we engage technology? In a way that suits the Indian way. AI adoption or emerging technologies adoption, not the European way, neither the American way, the Indian way. You must have seen, right, when you have gone abroad, you have Indian restaurants, but they are operating abroad, Indian food restaurants. But they will have the local flavor of Indian food. Same way, AI revolution, AI adoption must happen in India, not according to the rules and regulations and cultural, social, ethical constructs of that particular foreign land, wherever AI originated. Let's say, for the argument's sake, United States of America. This is what I was discussing with my senior, Professor Banerjee sir, some time back. Sir, all these technologies were born somewhere, they were thrusted upon us, so we were bound to, or we were conditioned to learn those and then adapt to those what they have produced. Why not we have the other way around, and when will we have it? We have become the consumer or the cyber coolie. We have become a big cyber coolie thing. So when should we own? When will we own? When will we have that copyright or intellectual property right? You know, that's the real India. That's the real Tech Mahindra School of Law or Technology. So that's where this particular international conference, see, every international conference or a national conference should have an objective, right? What is the objective of all of us coming together is, where are we now? What is the current status quo? Where do we go from now here? How do we plan out? Plan, prepare, perspire, and inspire. Okay? With knowledge, skill, and attitude intact. Knowledge, skill, and attitude. This is one framework. The second framework is plan, prepare, perspire, and inspire. Not only taking from the Atlantic that side. So we also can create, should create, and should give the narrative back to them, saying that, you know, we will also be part of that growth trajectory, not only consuming side all the time. So this is what I'll stop here. I think I have given you at least 3, 4, 5 provocations, at least food for thought. Not that you guys don't know, you are smarter than me, you must be knowing better than me. But since I am sitting in this hot shade, I should give you certain, I just shared my heart and mind with you. This is what I feel, this is what I stand for. So now the floor is open, if you have any questions. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. So you are talking about the tech space above the 4 foundation pillars. So sir, basically now AI, we are moving towards AI and adopting AI. And further, we are bringing the semiconductor industry in India, because now for AI and electronics we need the semiconductors, and for that we need lithium, and fortunately we found lithium reserves in Kashmir and parts of Rajasthan.
Yeah.
So sir, what is the prospects of this semiconductor industry, and how it is going to help with points of AI and help in state sovereignty?
Yeah, cool, thank you. Anyone? Okay, cool. So, semiconductor industry, Taiwan is the leader, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Why China is interested in Taiwan? Because of the land, because it is small piece of land. Okay, it's not about that. Okay, even though there is a historical context of Chiang Kai-shek ran away from Formosa earlier, it was now Taiwan, it is now Taiwan, and the Communist Party of China, let's say 1949, you all know some little bit of history, right? So the Chinese are interested now in Taiwan for one factor, that semiconductor industry, TSM and all that, you know. So they are doing very well, and you know what? Very scary situation. If semiconductor industry, all this chip industry, if India is not going to have a say, let's say, we're going to have very big unrest in manufacturing sector in India. So that's why we are now seeing the semiconductor adoption in India and inviting big MNCs to set up. I think in Gujarat there is a big plant coming up.
Foxconn.
Foxconn, yeah, and Foxconn, yeah. So and also I think Hyderabad also they have.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I think we have to welcome them, but at the same time we also must keep rare earth materials, geopolitics of that, rare earth materials, quantum computing, the semiconductor industries. So we have to keep give the prioritization. This is where strategy comes into picture. There are two ways of looking at it. One is operational, that is immediately, tactical, that is immediate. Next is strategic. What are the tactical decisions that India should take, immediate decisions to take care of to keep house in order? What are the strategic decisions? So part of the strategic decisions, semiconductor, quantum computing, all these rare earth materials. So this is the name of the game.
We act on that. I mean, suppose we don't act on semiconductors now, the trade deficit only imports will be about $400 billion. And we lost almost $1 trillion as trade deficit to China in the last decade.
Right, sir. So the particular statement you had given itself is an indicator.
Yes.
That we should be more proactive.
Yes, semiconductors.
So yeah.
Yes.
And the other day, Data Security Council of India, if you remember,
Yes.
$8 trillion, right? Not billions.
Trillion.
$8 trillion is the cyber crimes.
That's right.
The third largest economy. First is United States.
Yes.
Second is I think
China.
The third one is the cyber crime gangs. India with 140 crore population, we are $3 trillion.
Yes.
So that makes sense that we have to all by default it doesn't matter whether you are a lawyer, doctor, actor. So you all need to have technology know-how, technology usage, technology adoption. So just imagine how many internet users are there in India, let's say.
65 crores. 50,
Yeah.
60 is no different.
So that is 50% of India.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
40.
40% of India, not even 50. I don't
Okay,
know.
that's somewhere.
Only 40. 40. So just imagine if you are 75% of India can focus on smart technologies, understanding, studying, researching about it, will go in a big way. One more important point, last point. How much of GDP is spent on research and development? Do you have any idea?
Less than a
0.8.
0.8, you're right, 0.8%. Ideally speaking, minimum 3% should have been spent on R&D. One more food for thought. How much of money budget the Prime Minister of India is allocating to food, health, water, hygiene? How much of money Prime Minister of India is allocating to border security, Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force? If you see, there is a lot that we have to improve on the human security aspects of governance. So, if it is national security, this is human security. Both are two sides of the same coin. Then only you can have the comprehensive security model emerging. So, my appeal to the people here is think in this way, do promote technology with socially, politically, economically, historically, adoption, not forgetting the roots. Otherwise, the whole AI model will collapse, or new emerging technologies model will collapse like a pack of cards. Will only be just following. So who is the true leader? You must have seen on the wall outside also. Who can bring vision into reality is the true leader. So we should have the vision, then only God will give you the provision. You should have the vision. Then only God will give you the provision to implement with that kind of element of this thing. What do you call responsible, meaningful dialogue into any kind of intellectual debates. So vision, potential and performance. In between there is a line. So from potential to performance, you need to have your knowledge, skill, most importantly, your attitude. So our attitude determines our altitude in life. So my final remark is, build AI, build new emerging technologies, but with proper foundational layers to it. Understanding India from the historical point of view, political, social, ethical, religious point of view, and then build technological models, how many ever you wanted to build, skyscrapers. Okay. So with this, I would like to end. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your insightful contribution, sir. The way you were able to educate us through something that is very personal.